over here.
Yeah.
And we've got a great candidate here in Dr. Scott Reed.
I thought you were going to be talking about Mr. Reed. I figure you're over there doing some work for him.
Yes, we have a great campaign. I've been doing what I love to do on campaigns for the last while, yesterday and again today, which is putting up signs all throughout the district, and you get to see lots of people and to go from one community to the next. And yesterday we were out in St. Teresa's and Flat Bay and down in Barriswah Brook and St. George's and throughout Stephenville and Stephenville Crossing, and there's no question it's a highly contested race, but we've got, like I said, we've got a great candidate, and he's been flat out, and we're all flat out over here working on the campaign. So,
what's the vibe so far that you're picking up from people?
There's a lot of concerns about the state of the roads over here. It's quite a mess. I'm surprised that they had a member of the. I know when Ms. Shea was leaving office, she boasted that she had spent the entire time that she was in office in the PC government cabinet, and I'm really surprised that she spent the entire duration of her time in office, however many years that was, 10 or so, and wasn't able to get much more done for this district. Because I think that's really the argument that I heard somebody making on your show yesterday about electing another Tory for this district, and somehow he magically within 1 year would be able to do what Ms. Shea was unable to do in 10. But I think that's a major issue. People are concerned about health care and seniors issues. There's no question about that. Employment is something that's always an issue. Economic activity and how to get more people to work over here. So that's some of the things that we're hearing, and I'll be here until the end, chatting with people until next week. So, and I'm excited about that. And it's certainly a privilege for me to be able to be here and be involved in this. Pete, the reason why I called this morning is I just wanted to follow up on the story about Child, Youth and Family Services. We're all surprised and upset when we heard that 26 children have died in the care, custody, or protection of the government of Newfoundland and Labrador, or the province, since that department was created. 6 of them by suicide. Another 12 children have died through accidental deaths, and of course we're not aware of those circumstances because government chose to black out in some. I've gone through the access request that CBC has managed to get, and in some instances, it's close to 80 or 90% of the letters, the words, the sentences in those documents have been blacked out, so we can't tell. There was another 6 children who died through medical circumstances, and like I said to somebody the other day, I said, we don't know what those circumstances are. If you're diabetic and you don't take your insulin, you'll die, and whether that's because of a medical, that's a medical circumstance, but you can certainly characterize it differently as well. And I wonder, to be honest, if there is even further information that we don't know, because government likes to play word games with these access to information requests, and if you don't ask the question a certain way, you're not always able to get the information that we need. And, people in the province who have children who are in the care, custody, or protection of the province, and the general public believe that children are safe when they're in the care, custody, or protection of the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. And I think that's one of the reasons why this is so shocking. And now, I know Minister Collins hasn't been in, Sandy Collins hasn't been in this department for very long, and it's been sort of a revolving door. We've had 4 ministers in that department in less than a year, in less than 12 months, but it's really concerning that we haven't heard a word from the minister who's responsible.
Yeah, he says he's going to be making a statement this afternoon, according to Fred Hutton this morning. There's 2 things here. It's obviously the sheer, the volume of cases here, but the fact that it took the Freedom of Information request to get it, and then you only get 20% of it, as you say, presumably the police have been involved in most, if not all, of these cases. But you wonder, if the child and youth advocate can be left out of the loop, how much is being done, how much is known, how much investigation has gone on, and therefore, how much are we learning from these unfortunate incidences to improve things in the future?
It's very saddening, but going forward, we've our critic for Child, Youth and Family Services, Mr. Andrew Parsons, was on, I believe it was Patty yesterday, and he's quite right that we really need to ensure that the legislative change is made immediately. It's fine to say that they should, the department should notify the child and youth advocate, but we really need to make that a requirement, to make it mandatory, and that needs to be done as soon as possible. But
does that require new legislation right away, or can that just be a policy decision made, and then if legislation is required, do that later?
Well, if there was goodwill, they would be doing it anyways, but there doesn't appear to be any willingness to do that. You
don't think it's safe to rely on goodwill in any case, I imagine?
Well, look, the passage of time has indicated that that's not the case. The Child and Youth Advocate came out in June and said that she needed to know immediately, or as soon as possible, if there were any deaths while children were in the care, custody, or protection of the province, and they haven't done that since June. They haven't shown any willingness to do that, so there's no reason for us to believe that they're going to do that. They're protecting themselves by prohibiting the thorough release of information on this issue, but so we need to have a legislative change, and that's what she's indicated, and that's what needs to be done. And as soon as the PC party gets its act together and picks a new leader, we should go back into the House Assembly as soon as possible and make the legislative change that's necessary. But in the interim, Pete, I would encourage the Premier, if he's listening today, I'd encourage him to come out and speak out on this issue and reassure people in the province that our children are safe, are going to be safe, and they're going to be cooperative with the Office of the Child and Youth Advocate from here on in, because we need to see some leadership on this, because children are dying. One death is too many, and we've seen 26 since this department was set up, and this department was set up to prevent this sort of thing from happening again after the death of Zachary Turner. And we've not seen that happen, and we need reassurance that that is going to be the case, Pete.
We certainly expect that the kids will be safer than they would be otherwise, which is why Child, Youth and Family Services sometimes steps in to take over.
What we've seen go on here is completely disproportionate and out of whack of what we've seen in the general population. Okay?
That's a comparison I'd like to see exactly to understand how much elevated this percentage is. Anyway, sir, listen, we have to go to break. I appreciate the call, and anytime, give us a shout. I'd like to know what's going on with the rest of the campaign and otherwise.
Thank you very much for your time, Pete.
All the best.